What's going on, you nerds? Welcome to the True Nerds Gaming Podcast, episode number 39.
39.
2023 has been arguably one of the best years for gaming, and we thought we were done with everything. All these releases came out, and then guess what? October is just as packed. So on today's episode, we're going to be discussing what games are coming out, what you should be hyped for, and what we are buying. So with that, I'm going to start it off because I've been wanting to talk about this game for a while. I've mentioned it a few times, but next week, Friday, Lords of the Fallen. So I've been hyped about this. I've been cautiously optimistic just because we've been burned. We've all been burned on one game or another. But a lot of the YouTubers, streamers got, I forgot how long, but they got some access to the game. I think it was like 4 or some hours, but I watched multiple videos and everyone's saying it's living up to the hype. I'm blown away by the gameplay I've watched. You know, one of the big selling points obviously is it's a Souls-like, but there's a really unique mechanic to it. And essentially you have your normal realm that you're in, but you can also go into like a I forgot what they call it exactly, but like if you die,
It's like
or
a shadow realm.
like a shadow realm, yeah. And everyone was discussing like, okay, is this going to be instant or is this going to be a loading? Dude, you literally, like from gameplay, can hold up your lantern and switch in and out like instantaneously. And I think that is just, if pulled off properly, is going to be one of the best mechanics to ever come out. You know, I think back to like Ratchet and Clank where Sony's like, oh, you know, it's, you can literally warp to another world, and let's be honest, it wasn't as instantaneous as everyone wanted it to be because they were calling it next gen. And it's cool. It's a cool thing. They only did it a few times though, but the fact that you can just hold a button and switch between these realms, I'm just...
Yeah, theirs was very much like coordinated loading into new worlds. And it was like cool how fast they could do it, but obviously they were able to do it on PC. So it wasn't taking advantage of like this PS5 next gen compression thing. That's incredible if they were able to pull it off on PC. But this looks really cool. Like they must be like loading two worlds at the same time, basically.
Well, that's what I watched a video from Fex for Life. I don't know if you've ever watched them, but they're all RPG news. They do a lot of builds, a lot of guides. They have a website. They're really intricate on the RPGs they play. And the guides, they have multiple writers and whatnot. But essentially, these developers had to create the original world and then actually slap another world on top of it. So they had to do twice the amount of work. So it's one world hidden behind the other. So it's always there. It's just kind of hidden. So you're not actually loading. Really cool. It's just
it's like in there.
Yeah. So,
and what's crazy too is from what I've seen, they did not like half-ass either world. Like if they did do twice the work and create two worlds, the main world looks incredibly detailed and thick and rich. Like Elden Ring was very like artistically drawn out, and like what we kind of considered the map was a masterpiece, but you could kind of tell that it wasn't like this lush, dense foliage, grass, trees filled out world. They like worked within their constraints for consoles and other things. This thing looks like, I mean, the vegetation and everything is like, it's drawn some serious horsepower just in like creating the world itself, that your computer needs some either VRAM or some serious computing power to kind of render, or what it seems. Otherwise, they're doing some wizardry to make it look as good as it does.
Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And everything I've watched, normally I'm not huge into watching anything when I'm excited for release, but you know, the original game came out in, I think 2014, and they had really good thought process on it. It just didn't deliver. But all the YouTubers I watch that I trust, they just say they were blown away when they were playing it. And again, only 4 hours, but once I watched that Factual Life video, I pre-ordered the shit out of it because I want to play it. But
you're gonna play it.
Either way, I'm gonna play it. Yep. So yeah. I'm really excited, but it sucks. My buddy is getting married next Saturday, and I'm staying up in his wedding, and it's up in Minnesota, so I gotta go. I gotta go up for the rehearsal dinner. Tyler, if you're watching, love you, but you you screwed me over on Friday, but that's okay.
He's been waiting for this all year, and
Dude,
you
for
come in
real.
with in the last minute with his wedding. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I'm pretty bummed, but you know what? Once I get up there, I'll forget about it. So you gotta touch grass every once in a while. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited. I ended up picking up the deluxe edition on CD keys for I think only $45 for the deluxe edition, so it's pretty good. 48 or 45. It was only $5 more than the original. And I
Wow.
think this game actually launched at a normal $60, which I always appreciate.
Yep.
So, but again, yeah, Lords of the Fallen. It's it's not even a remaster, it's just like a relaunch, I guess, if you will, because the first one didn't do the best. And that is coming out on October 13th, next Friday. So
Yeah,
um
that one's got me interested because obviously, like Elden Ring's got me into the Souls likes, and this one does some pretty unique stuff that's cool. Um, I honestly just don't know if I'm gonna like the two worlds mechanic.
okay.
I
Is
honestly
it is
like
it too much? Like, because I'm
it,
excited. I'm
I
like, dude, collectible or not collectibles, but like
yeah,
exploration. You're
too much.
doubling it. Okay.
Yeah, and just like I know that's a lot of some of their puzzles and everything is gonna be with that mechanic, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at puzzles.
Mm,
Like Zelda, like it makes you feel smart when you figure it out. But there are some I sit there for like an hour. I'm like, I fucking hate puzzles.
yeah.
And like Destiny, I fucking hate puzzles. But like, they're a part of gaming. Like, I mean, some games do them a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like long drawn out things or anything that gets me like frustrated. It just like becomes more of an annoyance than like the reason I'm there to like play the game.
I agree with you on the puzzles. I like simplistic puzzles. For instance, Sea of Stars, they do really good at simplicity when it comes to the puzzles, but it's enough to keep your mind engaged. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're spending, 10, 15, 20 minutes on a puzzle, you're like, dude, get me out of here. Like the Uncharted 4 I played, there was a couple puzzles where they weren't hard, but I just wasn't in the mood to do them. So then they
Mm-hmm.
turned into being hard because I wasn't paying attention to the actual mechanics, or like you said, Zelda, or sometimes with Darksiders, you're like, I just want to beat the shit out of people. Like,
Yep. There was a
don't,
few in Breath of the Wild that I'm like, nah, I'm skipping it.
yeah.
There's, where they just like unlock an extra thing,
Hmm.
and I'm like, nope, this is annoying. I'm done. I'm going on. And like, yeah, it's just, I guess like if they're there and for the collectors like you, the 100%ers, that's cool because I know some people do really enjoy puzzles and that's why they play the games. So I like them if they're there. I just don't like it at like stopping points where you're like, I have to beat this to progress the game.
Yeah.
Makes me, or like you can do it in like good ways where, okay, if you haven't beaten it in so long or figured it out, it'll like offer you a hint or something, or hey, show me like a clue, or in the right area where I need to be. Because sometimes I cannot like get my head around what they're trying to get me to do. So I'm not even like started the puzzle. I'm just trying to figure out like where the door entrance is
Right.
to the puzzle. So and that's the most frustrating part is when I like don't understand what the game's trying to like tell me or how it's like trying to function.
I'll
There's a
be
few in Tears of the Kingdom where I was like, this should be simple, but I cannot figure this out.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I'll Once I play it, I'll have to let you know, because like some of the gameplay I watched, they were there was a unpassable, it was simple,
Mm-hmm.
like an unpassable jump. And he switched, pulled out his lantern, and then all of a sudden there was like just some water he could walk across, like a little creek
Yeah.
in the other realm or something. If it's stuff like that, that's not bad. It's like, oh, I can't move
Right.
here, go into the other world and switch, move through. But allegedly the shadow realm, or whatever you want to call it, is a little harder. So maybe that's where the push pull comes in, to
Mm-hmm.
get across here, you got to go into a harder world or whatnot. But
Right.
yeah, I'm super stoked for that game. And
I mean,
the
this thing looks like one of the most streamable games, like
mhm,
Elden Ring was. I could just watch people play this for hours.
yeah.
It's extremely interesting. It's just one of those where it's like, I don't know if I want to play it,
Right.
but it looks like you could be able to watch it for forever. It's
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah. Moving on. My next one's right after that, but I'll let you touch base on what you want to talk about.
Well, the only game that I'm super hyped for, I can't play. So Spider-Man 2 is coming. So if you've got a PS5, I was really pushing off, like trying to hop on the hype train. Because like it's not available to me. So I was like, I don't even wanna like look at it. I don't want to get like look in the previews. Like I'm sure it'll be good. I just want to like get hyped when it's comes to PC. But I saw just like a teaser trailer and I'm like, yes.
It looks so good, dude. It's like they took the original one, which was already really, really good. I mean, I just made a video on it. It's one of the best, I'd say the best superhero sims I've ever played. And they added to it. You got 2 characters, you got Venom, like the amount of different combat scenarios that we've seen just in trailers blew me away. It's
for sure.
It's almost, I don't want to say it's a console seller, but
oh, for sure.
Yeah,
there are so many people who are just A, Spider-Man fanboys, and then B, just like fans of like the Insomniac style that like this is like a must play.
How long do you think till it comes? How long do you think till it comes to PC? Are you thinking a year or more?
Most things have been like a year, but it seems like they've been pushing things faster. Now I can't remember when. What's their other exclusive that you played? The one with all the robots and dinosaurs. Horizon. That's coming. They announced that. That's coming to PC.
Forbidden West
edition. Yeah.
Okay.
With the expansion like bundled in, and so I was like, that seems pretty fast from when it launched.
Yeah, because I think that game came out in November of 2022, and then the DLC came out in February. So yeah, that's right about it a year, and that's an okay time frame for me. I'm okay with that,
especially with them bundling in the DLC. Like it's really only been like 8 months since the last thing's been released, and PC's getting that right away. So like that's not bad at all, really. And so if it's something like that with Spider-Man, where DLC comes out 8 months later, it comes to PC.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah, and I want to know. I want to look at some statistics one day and make a video on it just to see, okay, how much is Sony making on PC ports versus, certain exclusive games. I would assume they're making more money on PC than selling consoles, because they don't make much overhead on consoles.
Well, I think they lose money on consoles.
Right. So
it's just the 30% that they get to lock you into the PlayStation platform.
Yeah. Versus Steam, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like Steam's kind of competing in the same way. They take a 30% cut too, but like Steam is it's much more like open competitive platform where they have to like be the better platform for you to like want to buy games with them.
Oh, you're saying Sony charges 30% of the developers?
Yes. Okay. So they lose money for every PlayStation sold. But then like when FIFA sells, people buy it on FIFA, right? So they create, their game plan is to create a blockbuster like Spider-Man or like God of War or Horizon. Sell you on that, losing money on the console, and then kind of breaking even on the blockbuster. But then they get 30% of every game that you buy on your PlayStation. And so then when people buy FIFA or Madden or Call of Duty, that's when they rake in 30% for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so then it's like easy profit. Right?
Yeah. So, I think we should look at the statistics to see on PC, because I know they're
really interesting to know.
I guarantee they're making a hell of a killing. Because like, dude,
for sure.
They have.
And then some of them like Spider-Man or God of War, they actually like make a really good amount of money just on the game.
Dude, yeah.
But then on PC, like a lot of the PC ports, they were already like they were selling for $20 on PlayStation, right? Like Sony's like, okay, we sold to everybody that we could on PlayStation. We can't give this game away. Let's go sell it on PC for full price, and they rake in just millions.
And I approve of every single transaction. It's like I was looking at my Steam library the other day, and all my completed games, I have little tabs. It's like 75% Sony games. It's hilarious. But
That is
yeah,
funny.
it's what's the date on Spider-Man 2? It's soon, right?
Uh, it is. Come
Enhance.
on. October 20th.
Okay. Not too
12
far out.
days.
Yeah, I saw. So I did want to discuss. People are having the gamers fucking bitch about everything. First off, I just want to say that if a game's good, I will spend $60 on a game, even if it's a 6 to 10 hour
Yep.
blow me away. But there's been leaks, or of course, reviewers have leaked. It's just how it is. It's annoying, but it's how it is. They're saying that the game's shorter than it should be, which pisses me
Spider-Man?
off. Yep, Spider-Man 2. So,
I no, I like short campaigns.
yeah, they're saying it's like a little shorter than the original one. Maybe I don't quote me. It's
Perfect.
just
It leaves you time to 100% the game
right. So
to complete all the side quests.
it's annoying because if a game's shit, I don't even know, 12 to 15 hours. That's awesome. That's like okay, especially
If it's a thrill-paced ride that's like awesome, all 15 hours or 12 hours, it's like, yep, money well spent.
it's funny because the first Spider-Man people were complaining. They're like, "Oh, there's too many side things to do." Well, now they probably paced it a little bit better. Well, the first one I thought was paced really well, but
I thought so.
they might have taken a little fluff out where it's and then taken a little of the life sim out of it or something. I don't know. Trying to make gamers happy, and now people are pissed. And it's just like, dude, if a game is good, a game is good. I'm sick of everyone counting like, oh, this game needs
How
to
many
be
hours it
40
is?
hours
Yeah.
or
I thought we figured that out with, well, I guess recently. Well, first off, I think it was EA, one of the Star Wars games that EA had was like a 10-hour campaign or something. And everyone's like $60 for 10 hours. Like this is BS. And so then game companies are like longer and longer
it's just all
campaigns.
fluff.
It's all fluff. And so then like Ubisoft is just like they've taken it to the extreme, and now everyone's like, yeah, please give me the 15 to 20-hour game. Like I cannot do 150 hours of Valhalla and like
And
not even
that's
finish it.
sorry to interrupt. That's another thing. Mirage just came out, and it's like a 20 to 30 hour game, depending on your play style with side stuff, whatever. And everyone's been complaining about the whole AC structure for Assassin's Creed, and they brought it back to their roots, with like the style of gameplay and the length. And people are complaining. It's like, what do you want? It's silliness, is what it is.
Yeah.
I personally like that shorter style Assassin's Creed because I played the first three, and then as they started getting a little bloated, I know they're still good games. It's just really not for me anymore. I can't do all that because my OCD kicks in, and I'm just like, I need to complete all these little side things, clearing maps. I just, it's not for me. The fact that they had more of a toned back game just launched, I almost want to pick it up. I'm not, because October's insane, but I don't know. Anyways, I digress. I'm just annoyed.
I thought about that too. Yeah, everybody kind of complaining that like the games were too long. They've got away from their like what made Assassin's Creed. And I've actually never finished any of the Assassin's Creed games. I think I got pretty far in the first one, like 70 or 80% done. But like yeah, I would love like a 15, 20-hour Assassin's Creed. From what I've seen from the reviewers, some of the complaints are a little valid, where it's like it's shorter, which we asked for, back to the old gameplay, which we loved, but it's just the same exact loop for 15 hours straight, with nothing connecting it and taking you on like a well-connected journey. So it seemed like they focused too much on every player can go in any direction at any time and complete anything in any order they want, that none of them can connect to be either before or after whatever else. So there's no storyline that like links up to the next beat very well.
It's probably my same complaint with like the new Zeldas, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They give the player the option to go do anything they want, but then the story is kind of drip fed to you, and it's not like a progressive story, which I personally enjoy. I enjoy narrative driven stories.
Correct.
So
I thought they did a good job with the first Zelda, where Breath of the Wild, where it was you can go any direction you want, but they kind of had a suggested route. That's like this like makes the most sense for level difficulty, and then the story lines up a little bit better. Where this new one, it's like you can kind of like go everywhere and anywhere, and it's a little much.
Some people love that though, so that's just
it's true. I mean, like it's got. I agree that it should be open for the people who like, oh, I'm gonna run straight to the boss with level 1 and a stick and try and beat it. Like, yeah, those things are awesome. They're really cool to watch. You love seeing headlines about that. But for me, I need a more focused storyline that like brings me along the right way. Otherwise, I get lost, distracted, and then stop playing the game.
Right.
Kind of like I did with Tears of the Kingdom. And I've thought about going back a few times, but it's like there's a lot of other things to play, and it just seems like such a big game.
Yeah. I think I'm 40 hours in on it, and I just got. I think I've completed 3 temples, but yeah, the narrative just didn't grab me. I miss I like the old school Zelda games. I like the top down, like Link's Awakening remake is one of my top Zelda games. The Skyward Sword HD remaster. I really enjoy the older Zelda games. I know that's not top down, but I like the format that they slowly progressed into.
Right.
But
who did the Link's Awakening remake? Was it one of like Nintendo Studios, or did they farm that out to a third party?
I don't know. I can't remember. I'd have to look.
Because I was just like, I prefer that style too, and it makes me feel like my Pokemon like nostalgia.
Yeah.
And they released Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl last year, which was back to that like top-down classic formula. And it was okay, but they farmed it out to a third-party person, and they just like made an exact like one-for-one remake with probably less features than the original game had. And like when Game Freak does it, they're known for like making the best version of this game you've ever played in your entire life by remaking it. So I was just curious, like, if Nintendo did the same thing with the Zelda franchise, or if they had it like in-house studio take more care with it.
So I just looked it up because they remodeled that entire game. It's still the same story, but I mean, have you played it or no?
No, I own it.
Yeah, it's completely obviously different. So it's Grezzo. Grezzo remade it along with Nintendo Entertainment, obviously. But yeah, there was a little bit of stutter when you loaded into the new areas, but I looked right past it. I played that through probably a 25-hour game, if I remember right.
Okay. Yeah.
Really good game. Is very, very wacky. Like there's certain dungeons where you're doing you're going against Koopas from Mario. Wild stuff. And there's a reason for it. You'll find it in the story if you ever play it. But I highly recommend it. Very, very good Zelda game. So
cool.
Moving on to my next one. I'm really excited about this one, Alan Wake 2.
Yup.
There's a caveat to it. I never played the first one. However, so Alan Wake 1, they did a remaster, and I wanted to pick it up, but it's an Epic exclusive, and so is Alan Wake 2. But I'm gonna look past that. I'm trying not to be that guy because Epic is improving in certain aspects and stuff.
I actually bought a game off the Epic Store, and I think they've improved their launcher here recently. And it's actually starting to get like usable. When it launched, it was like, this is pretty terrible, and they're literally just trying to buy us with like free games. But yeah, it was a lot better, and I honestly don't have any issues with it anymore. And I'm happy to like know that like more of the money that I spent is going towards the developer.
Right. Like when I started looking for Alan Wake stuff, I could actually search for stuff easily, which the first time I was on Epic I couldn't. So that was a little
Mm-hmm.
frustrating. But so I wanted to go back and play Alan Wake. They did a remaster of it, but it's still $30. There's no sale, and I'm not about to spend $30 in this month's craziness. Um, Especially it's hit or miss for a lot of people. The story's really, really good, but I heard the gameplay is pretty mediocre. So I might just watch a recap of it. But the reason I am so excited about it, it's a Remedy game, and
Yeah.
Remedy is the developers who produce Control, and the worlds are tied together. They're in the same universe.
Oh,
So like when you
that's pretty cool.
yeah, so like when I played Control, there's a DLC called AWE Alan Wake Experience, I think it stands for. But
Okay.
you're doing the DLC and Alan Wake's actually narrating what you're doing, and you're like, holy shit. It was so cool. It made me want to play. Like, I just really like, I'm not a huge horror guy, but I like the
Yeah.
suspenseful games where the story isn't it's not tied with the normal reality. It's very cryptic, and then it all comes together at the end.
Those storytelling, I would agree. I don't like the dark suspense though, where everything's dark around you. You don't know what's around the next corner. Um, Even like things that aren't that like creepy or scary, they just like
Scare the shit out of you.
yeah. My wife made me watch Scream for the first time last night because it's October, and it really wasn't that bad of a movie. But for the first half, 200 beats a minute, my heart's just like
Yeah.
pounding. You just like don't know what's happening, what's gonna happen next, and then it like devolved from there and turned into like a comedy thing where it didn't take itself seriously. But yeah, just the littlest things like that. Like it has to be like action suspense, and even then, I get like anxiety watching those. But I just put up with it because I want to see the action and the resolution. And so, um, yeah, if it's even a little creepy, it's kind of hard for me to like get into, especially games. There's so much more immersive than a movie or a story. Oh, I can't even.
So I think you'd be fine with Control. Control didn't. There was no
Control looked like it was pretty cool.
It was more mysterious than
Yeah, I
anything
like
because you're
that.
just trying to figure out what's going on. There was no spot that scared me like at all. I just wanted to know. But
Yeah.
Alan Wake, on the other hand, is horror suspense.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's coming out October 17th. I'm super excited. Just looking at the rendering, or what's it called, where they put the dots on their face.
Mocap.
Yep, just looking at the mocap of the guy, dude, it looks. So I think I'm just gonna watch a retelling of Alan Wake 1.
And it's not on. Is Alan Wake the like Microsoft game?
Yeah, so it came out on Xbox exclusive originally, but then the remaster came out, I think, and then the remaster
Remedy
came
did it?
out. The remaster came out on everything,
Okay.
except Steam, so I could get it for
Yeah.
Xbox, but
Oh, but it's not on PC Game Pass?
no. The original one might be, but not the remaster.
Oh, gotcha.
So the
Interesting.
remaster looks much better and has all the
Yeah,
DLC.
well,
But I'm not spending $30 on it right now.
I mean, yeah, you got a lot to play.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any more games? You said you had some early access.
Yeah, so I bought after we got done talking last week, I got Witchfire.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
watched early access kind of like preview review. And their developers said they were heavily inspired by Destiny, and like any kind of questions they had, like the artist would have or the anybody like would ask the like director, he'd be like, well, how does Bungie do it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. And so the reviewer was saying that like it was like he wasn't sure about the formula, still needed some work. that they tried because it was it's what's the game type? It's
Roguelite.
roguelite, but it's kind of not at the same time.
Because it's
And
like
they
a
didn't.
Souls like as well.
There's a lot of persistent things, and they tried to add a lot of game elements like in, but he said it almost seemed it was A, he said it was like really difficult. And then B, he said it was like it almost focused more on like unlocking these persistent upgrades versus like getting bonuses along your run to make the run easier and complete it. And so I was like, dude, this sounds like it's right up my alley. Like this is everything that I'd want. I'm like, I like roguelites, but I'm not like overly attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like persistent things. If I collect this like rifle or upgrade this hand cannon, like that's all I want to use. I kind of, the downside of the roguelite is like, you know, you get one of these upgrades during a run, you're like, well, I'm never going to get to use this again, or it'll be really rare for me to get this exact same upgrade again.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. So I bought Witchfire off the Epic Store in early access. Amazing looking game,
It's
playing
beautiful,
game.
dude.
It's extremely difficult.
Is it?
Yeah. And it definitely adds like a intensity that like you're not sure, like you don't almost want to like push in and like kill things or try and attack this mob, or you want to like sit back and like kind of peck them off, because like it's like really punishing. Like if you die, you can still pick up all your kind of like souls or whatever, like you can come back and like find your body, but it like, yeah, it'll end your run and all the upgrades that you've like accumulated for that run disappear. So it's literally you're just like recollecting your currency.
Mm-hmm.
And so they only have like 2 levels out right now, but like the level, nothing's like procedurally generated. They're all handcrafted worlds that you jump into. And so with only 2 out, the guy was also saying that like the area gets old pretty quick. But after the first like time or two, like you start to like figure out where your like upgrades are and where, you know, you can explore the map a lot better. And it was pretty fun. I do think they need to tune it like a little bit more, and that's I guess why it's in early access now.
Yeah.
But it was pretty amazing. Sound design, awesome. Weapon design, amazing.
I've been following that game for over a year.
Yeah.
And originally I got mad because it's Astronaut. Originally I got mad when they went Epic exclusive, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? It's a smaller studio. They're trying to get more money to put back into the game, and then then I kind of just started dabbling in Epic a little bit. Now I have a little bit better because like last year, I just like still I'm not gonna buy games on Epic if I have the choice on Steam, but there's certain games that were exclusive to Epic where I'm like, nope, not touching with a 10-foot pole, and now I'm like, okay. It's more manageable because before it just wasn't a good launcher, man. It's like like if someone's like, I'm gonna go use the EA launcher, I tell them they're fucking high. It's a shit launcher, and
that one's the worst.
Yeah, so I'm happy it's doing well. Obviously people have critiques on it, but dude, just it's like right up my alley. I don't like I like, and that's why I like Lords of the Fallen look so much. It's just like dark, grim, like almost medieval.
Yep.
But it's a high fantasy, like a dark fantasy. Like,
yeah,
I like that style, man. It just it trips my trigger.
It looks good.
Yeah, it really does. And I told you, like, if you watch the previews, dude, homie's got a hand cannon. It's a hand cannon. It looks like it's from Destiny, so that's exciting.
Yep, it is. It's awesome. And like you upgrade it, like you can upgrade the weapons like as you like level up and go through, and so that's where it's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. There will be a lull eventually, I hope. Dude, this year's almost exhausting, honestly.
Dude, it's crazy.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited you picked it up, man. I'm glad you waited to tell me to, because otherwise I would have been buying it this week. But oh man, speaking of early access, one game is coming out. Wizard with a Gun. It's
Oh
coming out on
yeah.
October 17th. I shouldn't say early access. I think it was in a demo. Yeah. So the thing that's drawing me to this game is just one, it's co-op. Two, it's just like a really cool art style, which
Hmm.
I really like this art style. Um I don't even know what you really want to call it. It's unique. It's like a hand-drawn art style. I don't know. It just looks really fun. So it's coming out October 17th. That's a game I'm definitely picking up, just whether it's on Steam Deck. Originally I started following it for Steam Deck. But the more I watched it, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
So
I did see that. It looks really intriguing and really cool. That'd be a fun one to play.
yeah, it's just gonna be like one of those side games. Like if I'm bored or whatever, I'll play that. But you know, that's kind of what Hades turned into with me, or like Children of Morta. Um, started with like a side gig, and then kind of got addicted to it.
Turned into the main gig.
Yep. 2 days after, we got Endless Dungeon. So what this
Oh,
is, and I talked about this last week, so that's coming up. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? So it's action roguelike strategy tower defense action RPG.
love it.
Wow, mouthful. So it's $30. Oops.
Yeah, that looks a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's another co-op game. Um, it just like you said, it just looks like a lot of fun. The characters and like the art style on it, just
The
kind of like
colors.
yeah,
Yeah,
the colors are super. I don't know. It feels like a game I'd want to play co-op.
for sure.
So it's tactical action. So essentially, the way I understand it, you walk into a room, and you kind of set your tower defense in these rooms, and you just
Ooh,
let the enemies
great.
come at you. And but it's a roguelite too. They say roguelike on here, but I think it's a roguelite. Um yeah, so protect your crystal guns never ending waves of monsters or die trying. Get reloaded and try again. Holy shit, the publisher Sega. I didn't even see that. Interesting. Developer Amplitude Studios. But yeah, that's one of those other games there. Ooh, you wish listed it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'd be a fun co-op game, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's hit it up.
Oh, closed beta buddy pass. Interesting. Is there any other games for you for this month? I still got a couple, but I feel like I got one, but I feel like I'm talking too much.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yes, I forgot about that. That comes
Mm-hmm.
out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude. Everything feels like it comes out in like 12 days or 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Yes.
That one looks really cool. I really enjoy the Mario side scrollers, but I suck at them. I'm so bad. Oh man, I'm like the worst. But like I literally grew up with Super Nintendo and Super Mario World 3, and I never got past the second world. But man, did I play so many hours the first two worlds of that game.
I was thinking about that the other day, man, because I personally I feel bad when I don't finish a game, but I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about my childhood when I didn't have money to buy new games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You had to wait till Christmas or your birthday. I played the crap out of the same game, even if I couldn't beat it.
Yep,
Like
sure did.
I
I
miss.
owned like 3 games for anything. That's all I
Mhm.
had was 3 games, and so that was Mario was by far the best game I had. I just was really really bad at it.
I miss those days, man. That's
There's something simpler about those days for sure.
yeah. Now, I mean, the problem is having money. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm definitely picking that up. I'm for the first time in my life thinking about actually buying it digital because it's a game I'm gonna play with Leah, my oldest.
Okay.
Just because it gets annoying when she's like, "Hey, I want to play Mario Kart. I want to play 3D World. I want to play this," and I'm like, it's obnoxious to change because changing a cartridge on an N64 is easy. Changing
Yep.
a cartridge on a Switch is a pain in my ass.
They really go out of their way to make it difficult.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're the tiniest things, so they're hard to keep track of, and you feel like I always have like anxiety, or I always feel like I'm missing one, or I misplaced one. And it's like, gosh, like I love collecting them, and I love collecting the physical copies and the cases with it. But like for that like collection on your go that you have like in your game case, travel case, you're like, are they all in there? Where did I put the last game that I like swapped out for? And yeah, it sucks. Playing digital was awesome. The only problem is like, I mean, it might not be nearly as much of a problem for you because you play it more as a home console now.
Mm-hmm.
But those digital games, whenever you boot them up in your car, they're like, we need to check if online to see if you can play this game. And you're like, I'm not hotspotting my phone and connecting and going through all this trouble, and it barely works half the time just so I can play while I'm traveling. I had like 20 minutes to play. That's all, you know, it's like now I have to spend 10 to try and get it connected to see if I can play. And that's like where the simplicity of the physical game, it just works.
Yeah, I just almost died. I don't know. Most of me is telling me still buy it physical because I'm being lazy. But
some of the convenience of digital is extremely nice.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's only one that you're ever going to play on the TV with like your daughter, I don't see why. Although the collector in you probably says like it's a Mario game.
Yep.
20 years from now.
Yep.
Probably be still worth a decent amount of money.
I know, that's kind of where I'm at. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Like I can't help myself. But dude,
if it was not a Mario game, I'd be like, yeah, like buy digital, like who cares? But like you know, with it being Mario, it's got a name to it.
But then the problem with me is the collector in me, I'll play a game, I'll buy a game digital, and if I really like it,
you'll go buy a physical
Buy
copy.
a fucking physical.
Keep it sealed.
It's annoying. Yeah.
Do you mind if I go on a side tangent about physical copies real quick?
Go for it.
So I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but I think I told you over a year ago, I ordered the limited, what's the company called that
Limited
sells
Run
game? Limited Run, collector's edition of Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
they fucked you.
They didn't ship it. Like I was like looking for forever. I was like, isn't this supposed to like already come out? And I'm like going through my emails, and I couldn't find my confirmation email. I didn't create an account on the site, so I can't see past orders. I was like, well, maybe I guess I like didn't buy it or something. Like I can't remember.
No, you bought it. I remember you telling me you bought it.
Yeah, I know. I swore I bought it, but like it didn't show up in anything. So then I get an email this week, and they're like, hey, heads up, we're finally shipping the game. It's been over a year.
So the funny thing about that too, they promised in all their launch trailers that it would come with the DLC. And you know what they did? They went back and changed the launch trailers so it didn't say it was coming with free DLC. That's scummy. So all these people that bought it, and I'm not saying you specifically, because, you know, I don't know if you cared about that or not. You know, you just have a connection to it from playing as a kid.
Yeah.
But they literally went back and made the launch trailer change. They re-edited it.
Wasn't some of it like unreleased DLC, or is that separate?
I don't know if it was unreleased or if it was something that was brought after, but it was that was their biggest, or one of their big things was, hey, this is coming with this DLC. And then recently they went back and changed it because for whatever reason they can't produce it. Now, granted, free DLC, but still, it's like all these people that bought the game who were told this. It's not cool, man.
Yeah, I honestly thought about like canceling it just because it's been so long. But I only bought it really like for the collector's edition portion because it had some pretty cool stuff with it.
Yeah, well, and then they just canceled the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
I know.
I'm super depressed about that one.
I was so hyped that they were going to take a shot at the remake of that game because it's like I don't know why companies haven't.
Right.
I could see that like it's it'd be a real challenge to like evolve on the gameplay without like ruining the nostalgia factor. But yeah, the company that they picked to do the remake, I knew that trouble was
brewing.
Yeah, because like they showed, obviously, like the teaser trailer was this high quality 3D render, PS5 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, oh my god, this is going to be insane. And then like the company that was scheduled to do the remake had only ever ported it to mobile. That was their only game that they had ever done, was just take the old game and put it on mobile.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I guess they're like familiar with the game itself, but I don't have any faith in them remaking it for the PS5 and updating all the graphics and trying to evolve on the gameplay, like bringing it up to like a standard like gameplay of a new game.
Right.
Which sucks. Honestly, I think it would be the perfect game for the Final Fantasy VII treatment.
Oh, 100%, dude. Oh,
making it that like real-time action, but like the way they do cooldowns and stuff, basically making it like keeping its turn-based like gameplay to it. Yeah, but that would be the perfect way to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew that it was and then like their release date for it too was like a year away or something.
Yeah, super
like,
quick.
They haven't even started it yet.
They don't even have like any gameplay. It's just a 30-second trailer.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like not surprised, but that really stings. I was like really hoping that they were going to pull off some miracle and Sony was going to get involved and like actually put some like muscle and good people behind it. But
I have so many memories from that game, dude. Like, I remember specifically, and I've probably said this 100 times, getting done with football practice, going to pick and save, getting my donut that I used to get every single day after football practice in middle school, and then going home and playing KOTOR until I got yelled at to go to bed.
I think that for whatever reason, that's where this good and evil system with multiple endings basically just ended. KOTOR.
Mm-hmm.
They killed it. It hit the peak, the best that it had ever been, and then no other game tried to like iterate off of that or continue down that path. And it just like kept getting worse and worse. Your decisions didn't matter. They ripped out the good and evil system.
And it was a good and evil system that you actually wanted to I remember replaying that game so many times because I wanted to be like, hey, I'm doing an evil playthrough, I'm doing a Jedi playthrough, I'm doing Sith, I'm doing neutral, like, and everything actually felt like your persuasion and conversations, if you were good or evil, mattered.
100%.
Yeah, such a good game, man.
It was. Yeah.
I wish it wasn't so crunchy now because I'd go play it, but
dude, that was so exact. It is primed for a remake. Everyone loves it. It's got one of the best stories like ever told, with a beloved Star Wars character that hasn't like ever seen like screen time or anything else, but is like an instant classic.
Right.
And how haven't people remade the first one is just
the second one's really good too. First one's the best, but second one's pretty good. I like the second one a lot too.
I heard the gameplay on the second one's a bit better.
Yeah, it's typical. It's like, okay, the first one's amazing story, good gameplay. The second one, good story, amazing gameplay. It just kind of flipped. That's usually how it goes, but that's also a lot of nostalgia glasses too. But,
right.
In my opinion, but final game for me is a CRPG. Or I'm sorry, it's an isometric steampunk RPG co-op campaign. It's called Dark Envoy. What drew me in, and I'm not normally into like steampunk style games, but is the art style and the top down style of game. It's just looks like an RPG-esque RPG. It's a PC. I
love it.
Yeah, it's isometric RPG. I'm a sucker for them. That's coming out October 24th. Probably not your cup of tea per se, but Dark Envoy is an RPG adventure with tactical real-time combat and online co-op. Control a party of relic hunters in this tale of destiny set in a conflict-torn guns and sorcery world. So it's like high fantasy mixed with steampunk, beautiful graphics, isometric.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. That's the last game. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna buy. Because Lords of the Fallen, I'm probably gonna play a shit ton. Alan Wake, I want to play. Like, I want to buy all these.
Mm-hmm. So one of the games I'm surprised you didn't mention was Sonic Superstars.
I just don't have time. I'm not gonna do it. I don't have
It
time.
looks so good.
It
though.
does.
It's beautiful.
It does. And they did a good job with Frontiers.
That got a DLC. I'm like, dude,
Yep.
I need to hop into Frontiers.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. Leah got Sonic Colors remake last year, and that was pretty fun, but it's like games like that I play with my kids. We got enough games to play with her right now. It's like I'm not gonna spend $60 on.
That's one to wait for the sale and then wait for them to need the next game to play.
She's not a huge side scroller. Like Sonic main.
Isn't like, don't they remake some of the classic levels in that one? Sonic Superstars?
Yeah, but we got. They might, but I have Sonic Mania. Isn't this the remake of the 3D versions?
No, all new take on a 2D Sonic.
Sonic Superstars. What the hell's the difference between this and Sonic Mania? Oh, it's like re-rendered. I see. That's beautiful, actually. Ooh.
Dude.
Ooh.
It looks incredible.
Dude, that looks good. Why would you mention this? Dude, it looks sick. I'm wish listing it right now. Oh my gosh.
That one I think is primed for like a sale because I think it'd be really good, but it's not one that you like.
$60? Well, you know what though? They re-rendered everything. So I can't even complain.
Mm-hmm.
Priest
in the world of
my monitor just flick. My monitor's been flickering since I plugged it in. Why do you think that is? My Dell. Like randomly. It's done it 3 times since our podcast started. What would cause that?
Flickering?
Mm-hmm. Like it would like go black and then turn off.
A loose connection, I guess. It was like my first go-to, but
maybe
do you have multiple display ports in the back?
Yeah.
Or is it only
it's a single display port on that Dell. I'll just pull it out and replug it back in. I hope it's not a loose one to the back of the PC. Because remember when we did that, I was like, oh, it seems kind of farther away.
Yeah.
But my other one hasn't had any issues.
Right.
But I don't know what would be causing it to flicker.
So, yeah. Display ports are weird. It could be like a signaling issue. So if like the cable length is like too long and there's like a small like short or it's not hitting everything, then the cable length can add to its issues. But
it's a 10-footer.
It's not that long.
No.
But, yeah.
I'll just recheck the plug. It's fine. I'll plug her. I'll give her a little push. So, because also I was messing around with it a lot after I Actually, now that I think about it, it did have a little wiggle in the back of the Dell.
Oh, do you have it like kind of propped up so it like is tight on the connection port?
No.
It kind of just hangs straight down.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Anyways, online PvP. That's cool. They might have like time trials. That looks good, man. Sega's coming back. I've been having
they got an influx of cash with that Sonic movie, and they're like, "Holy crap, we need to make more good Sonic stuff."
So good. Did you watch them both? They're so good. They're so good. I watched them with Leah, and
I wasn't sure if they were gonna be able to hit on the second one, and they nailed it.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's the shit. Jim Carrey did such a good job.
Yes, he did.
But is there anything else crazy coming out in October?
Just Dance 2024 edition.
See, the disgusting thing is I didn't even have to look anything up for this podcast. That's gross for me. That's a good month for
got
me.
a lot of stuff you want.
I want to go on a tangent here too.
Okay.
Well, not a tangent, but like, okay, I have all these games coming out.
Yep.
I am absolutely in love, obsessed with Sea of Stars. It is so fucking good. I'm like 15 hours in right now, and the game is, I don't want to say just opening up, but there's been so many twists and turns in this damn thing, and the combat is good. Like, you need to get back into it.
Yeah.
It is.
So one of the things that's like kept me like is I've actually thought like 3 or 4 times about like firing it back up, but it's been Steam Deck like only so far, and I don't think it's not doing it justice. Like with the music and everything else, it's like I want to play my main PC,
Yeah.
but at the moment I have the super ultra wide monitor, and it doesn't. It just takes up a regular 16:9. There's no adjusting it. There's no going regular ultra wide.
I play with it that way, and I look right past it.
I know, but so I'm getting my 42-inch LG TV / monitor back this week. And so I think I've been waiting to fire it up with that, and then listening to it on some nice headphones. That's what's been keeping me away from the Steam Deck.
Gotcha.
It's just like I want to plug in some nice headphones and just jam out.
Dude, I didn't think it could happen, but the music gets better as the game progresses. I didn't think it was possible.
Wait.
It's so good.
Can't wait.
So good. It's to the point where I'm like forcing myself to go to bed as I'm playing this thing because it's such a good game. Like I never thought I'd be grinding a pixel art style game when there's so many other games like it. It's amazing.
I didn't think there was going to be a new brand new IP that would get me into the hit the nostalgia notes. But somehow it's creating this brand new experience, but yet making it feel so familiar and like back to like you're a kid again.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then the music is just so far advanced that like you're like, how is it this good?
Right. It just flows with everything. The only repetitive thing in it is the combat music, but when you're in different areas, they change the tone to match the area you're in.
That's so great.
It's I'm in love with it. I'm playing this one through. It's
oh, that makes me so.
She's
so
a banger.
Happy. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna do it too. I think that's gonna be the game I play tomorrow because I'm off. Then I'm off Tuesday as well.
Ooh,
but Tuesday, my Meta Quest 3 comes in.
I heard that's gonna be
VR mixed reality headset.
Yeah, I heard that's like the one thing that might take VR to the next level because it's kind of been trash. VR has been not trash, but it hasn't had a huge market.
Yeah, it's in such a weird spot, right? Because like if you hit a price point that people can afford, you're kind of getting trash VR,
right?
But if you make a good VR headset, it's $1,000+, and not many people can afford that. And so
go ahead, sir.
Oh, just like this one. This is what's got me excited because I've had the like Oculus Rift, the very first Gen 1 VR headset. And it was really cool, but I was like, I need a better headset.
Yeah.
And kind of everything that they've come out with, the Quest 2 was close to being like good enough, but everything I've seen come out with is like specs aren't good enough to get me hyped. I know what I like. I want a good VR experience, and they've all been like just underneath like kind of that either acceptable and everything else. This one seems like it's basically a 4K screen. Yeah. It's 2000 by 2000 pixels per eye. So it's like 4000 pixels wide and 2000 tall, which would be kind of a little bit higher than 4K with a little bit wider field of view. So you got that going for you. It's got these, they call them pancake lenses. So one of the issues with VR before is you have these like really thick like pieces of glass that sit in there, and it's really hard to find the sweet spot.
You can lose immersion by just kind of looking and away, or
Yeah,
it's
and
not as good as it should. And
yeah, and like if and everybody's eyes are different, spaced like far apart, so you have to like scroll this like dial to
mm,
kind of adjust them in and out. And there's like this like it's like a feels like it's like a 10 or 20% sweet spot window where you have to have your eyes looking straight through the center of these things for everything to come in crystal clear. And it's so hard to find that with these other ones that this one they've kind of widened out the sweet spot. So now it has like a 40 or 50% sweet spot. So it's way easier for people to find and everything's just like crystal clear looking through. So that was another big thing that got me like, okay, this is cool. And then it's got these pass-through cameras that can create a mixed reality setup.
yep.
So you could play like a tabletop game in kind of this mixed reality, virtual reality with all your friends. You could do like a Dungeons and Dragons dice rolling game, or they've got this like Super Smash Bros 3D game that's like kind of coming out with it. And that's got me like extremely interested. And the ability that it's like you can run everything off of the headset with no cables if you wanted this like super freeing experience, or you can plug in a cable to your PC and get top notch
Yeah.
VR experience.
I'm excited. I've never owned anything VR, and I've played on them, but never been an interest of mine. But I'm excited because I feel like I've listened to a few different podcasts on this, and it seems like this is the next step to kind of push the technology. So I'm excited for people who are into that.
And what's great about this one is what Facebook or Meta has been going after is inside out tracking. So it uses cameras on the headset that tracks from the inside outward versus having these like sensors that you have to place up all around your room
Mm-hmm.
to track everything. And so I could just bring it over to your house
Yeah.
without setting anything up. You can just put it on and you can just play. And that's why the Quest 2 kind of became so popular was I think one, COVID and lockdowns, it was quite appealing to be able to get out of your reality that you were in of the like kind of trash. But
Right.
people could take it over to people's houses and be like, dude, check this out. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing, without
Yeah.
having to set everything up and have this like perfect environment to play. You could just pick it up and play.
Yeah, I'd totally be down to try. Like the only time I've played VR was at Caleb and Matt's house. Caleb had it, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But I think we talked. This was back when the only games you like, they were just like they were like little demo games. They weren't
Correct. Yep.
real games. So
Yep. And so now obviously we have
mhm.
Half-Life Alex, and we have Star Wars Squadrons you can play in VR. And it
Yep,
was like meant to play in VR.
I'm sure.
So that one's really cool. And then they've ported like Skyrim VR, Borderlands VR, with the Quest 2 market being like really huge and the Quest 2 hitting off. There's actually been a lot of companies that have made some much more high quality VR games.
Yeah, because I even saw like a random Doom game. They have
Yeah.
Doom VR, and
Yeah.
there's certain games that would be super cool if they put the funds into them.
Yep.
That would pique my interest, or even just like hey, I'm coming over to your house to play VR this weekend. Like, I don't know if it's something I'd personally ever buy, but it'd be something that I'd like. Like, I remember like back in the day, Guitar Hero. Like
Yes.
I used to go over to Ryan's house all the time, play Guitar Hero, and that was cool.
Yep.
But I never owned it, so it was kind of an interest to go over to other people's
Yeah, I hadn't
houses and
owned it
play.
until it went on sale, and I got like a Rock Band like set up, and then you could use the guitar for your Guitar Hero as well. But like, yeah, it needs to hit a price point that's like accessible to everybody, right? I
Yeah.
think I got the Rock Band for like $60 or something.
Mm,
Drums, guitar, mic included. It's like if you were, at all found those fun, it's like, yeah, how can I not try that
right.
out?
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
So Sea
it
of
is cool.
Stars tomorrow, and
Sea of Stars tomorrow. And then the other cool thing too is you can do wireless desktop stuff. And
oh,
so
really?
yeah. So like I could actually like sit in my bed upstairs, wirelessly connect to the PC. Either you could do a whole bunch of things. You could create virtual desktop of kind of whatever you want, and I could play Sea of Stars on a 120-inch screen in my bed.
Oh yeah, that's sick.
Right? I can watch movies that way, and like I think it'd be one of the other reasons I got is I think it'd really help out with like space saving stuff for the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It'd just be like easier, especially with Maddie like working from home. I could just like chill upstairs in a bed and like watch a big screen movie without
Yeah.
having like the TV on in the living room while she's working 2 feet away from it.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know how if it like makes you sick watching, because there's always so many. I know technology has progressed a lot, but I always thought like if I was encased, my eyes were encased in something like that, I'd kind of like get a little loopy or something. So I guess you'll know
Yeah,
until you
so
try.
I didn't really get too bad of like motion sickness or anything else with most like VR games with my previous headset, but I did with Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, I'm sure. Like game's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, but I was hoping that was like with a 60 hertz screen,
Mm.
just like really bad quality everything. I'm hoping that like the 90 to 120 hertz of this new one, 4K details, clear lenses, either can alleviate that, or I'll just have to stick away from
Crazy
this
ass
this space
jet
games.
fighter
I
game.
think I get motion sickness regularly playing space games and like being able to like
Yeah.
tilt through and losing track of like the horizon kind of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just that aspect of it, but other games I'm usually fine with.
Yeah. I was laughing so hard in Dead Space remake. I had that. I didn't get sick, but there's a spot where you can literally just start, and you're like, "What the fuck weighs up?" And they do it on purpose. They're like, "Oh, that's the floor." Just kidding, that's the ceiling, and you just get all discombobulated. So I was like, "Man, if people got motion sick on anything, it would be this right here."
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting, man. I'm excited for you. That's coming
October's
quick.
stacked,
Yeah.
dude. It would announce and it was like, yeah, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's here. So I'll have that on Tuesday. I have the day off, so hopefully
You have to do it.
it'll come earlier in the day.
Right. Let me know how that goes.
Heck yeah.
That's all the games I got. Anything else you want to talk about?
Um, it looks like that Avatar game's coming out this month
Mm.
from Ubisoft. So
I
I
haven't heard
do
anything
enjoy the
on that.
Avatar. I know I do enjoy the Avatar world, but I
The
just
Ubisoft
don't
one.
know about this one. I saw a short snippet preview earlier, and the graphics look decent enough, so it doesn't look like they just like phoned it in to kind of cash grab on the movie name entirely. So I'm looking forward to the review on that one. If it's like a decent, maybe 7.5 or higher, I might pick that up just because I do like Avatar.
Yeah.
But that one is coming out to keep our eyes on. Forza Motorsport is coming out. The graphics on that are just supposed to be unreal. So I
Yeah.
may subscribe to PC Game Pass for a month. Just do a little PC graphics test, see how everything's running, see if I got to upgrade anything.
So I heard bad things about that actually.
Oh.
Not graphically. Graphically it looks, and I shouldn't say bad, but there's a few mechanics that are in the game that make it not very fun.
Really?
Essentially you need to level up each car individually, which is silly because so say you're driving we'll just say a Corvette. Driving a Corvette, you level it up, you make it badass. But you're like, "Oh, I want a different Corvette for drifting." You have to buy a new Corvette. You have to start all the way over and it's a grind. So that's
Yeah,
a
that
turn off for me.
sucks.
I'm not a huge racer to begin with, but
Initially, I'd heard that, but I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like I always start off. I like going through the progression. I think a lot of some of these like Forza games, you spend a lot of time in like class D and C, and then all of a sudden you like jump up to A, and then you're racing supercars and really fast cars, and there's not this, I guess, slow enough evolution of driving kind of like progressively like better cars. It goes from like, hey, last week I was driving a dump truck, and now I'm driving a Corvette supercar that
Right.
goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds and drives 250 miles an hour.
I think the frustrating thing I heard is every time you need to start, they're like, hey, you need to level up, you need to upgrade your tires. Now you need to upgrade. Like it's the same progression for every single car.
Yeah, now that you say that, that would be extremely annoying. And yeah, like if I'm a driver level, I should be able to throw the level of tires that I've like leveled up on other cars on this car. Like there's no reason to have to level that up again. Like I would think, yeah, if you get a new car, you have to upgrade the engine. You have to upgrade, the things on the car that make the car go. But like tires, really?
Well, what I'm saying is you have to progress your XP in that car instead of just saying, hey, I want to upgrade the engine. You have to progress and get XP to upgrade that. Like to get to the point to even be able to upgrade, it's like, okay, now you need to do the wheels first. And then you need to do the shocks first, or the shock second, whatever. And then you can get to the engine. That's the way I understand it, which is a huge turnoff for me, because if I have 50 hours in the game, they're like, hey, you can't put a new engine in this car because you haven't leveled it up enough. I think that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think they probably needed to slow it, some of the progression down a little bit from where they've had it since the last time I've played like a legit Forza game and not Forza and Horizon game.
Yeah.
But that seems way too much. And like, I don't know. Yeah, like if it starts to get like too grindy with every single car to the point where like your previous car is now better than your new car you just got because you haven't leveled up your new car.
Right.
Yeah, that sucks.
But
I'm not trying to spend 400 hours in a game.
Right.
I mean, like, I guess it kind of sucks because when I was like in college or like a teenager and had all the time,
that
kind of sounds like cool, right? Like I just want to like play more and I want to progress a little bit slower in this game and really get to know each individual car and upgrade it like differently. But if it's literally like you trying to do the same upgrades on each car and it taking forever, then no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, like no one that I saw did an actual review of the game. It wasn't impressions because the game is so big. So, but which is good and bad, because if all you do is racing games, that's probably good for you.
If that's your life, you probably want more content. But then it gets to be either the Assassin's Creed Valhalla system, where it's way too much and too grindy and too padded out for no reason, or it gets to be the Destiny game where they're just trying to keep you only playing this game, ever only playing this game, and I think it waters down good gameplay.
Right. Thought I had something else, but I don't. I think I'm good. Been going for an hour and 15. You got anything else?
Another 20-minute conversation.
Right, that's usually how it goes.
No, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we touched on all of the games. We had some great sidetracks.
Yep.
Talked about VR. Probably could have talked a little bit more about VR or worked in that like in a more appropriate space, but
no, it's okay. I'm here for the random sidebars. I like it.
If you've made it this long, you're here for the random sidebar.
Yep. All right, man. Send her off.
Stay nerdy.